Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Thailand. Today's story comes from a guy named Carlos, a 55-year-old Filipino-American army vet who thought he found something real in Bangkok. She wasn't a bar girl, she wasn't chasing his money. She had a good job, spoke fluent English and played the role of the perfect girlfriend for over a year. But the whole time, she was lying. She had other men, other stories, and Carlos, he saw it all unfolding, quietly, silently. And when the time came to act, he didn't scream, he didn't beg. This one's cold, calculated, and personal. Some of you are going to think he went too far. Others, you'll say he didn't go far enough. So here's his story, in his own words. I'm not telling you this story to get sympathy. Let's just get that straight right now. I'm not heartbroken. I'm not crying into my damn beer. I'm too old for that. Too tired. I've buried friends. I've seen real loss. This. What happened with her? It was just a different kind of operation. A personal one. She thought I didn't know. She thought I was just another old expat too busy sipping his coffee to notice the way she'd sneak glances at her phone when I wasn't looking, or how she always had to leave early for work, but never once invited me to see where she actually worked. But I knew way before I did anything about it. I don't react fast, not anymore, not since the military. You learn to breathe through the trigger, you learn to sit still while the thing burns. She thought I was slow. I wasn't slow. I was patient. That's the thing most people don't get about guys like me. I don't yell. I don't break things. I don't make scenes. You lie to me. You cheat on me. You play me for a fool. I'll just wait. Let you dig your own hole. And when the time comes, I'll bury you with your own shovel. And the best part, you won't even see it coming. We met at this cafe in Ari. Not fancy, but trying real hard to be. Glass walls, fake plants, all white furniture that stains if you even look at it wrong. The kind of place where everything costs 50 baht more than it should. Just because they serve cold brew in a beaker. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I usually went across the street, stronger coffee, no loud music. But that afternoon I needed air conditioning and quiet. I'd been running errands and my knee was acting up. She was sitting off to the side by the window reading a paperback, some translated Scandinavian crime novel with a blood spatter cover. It caught my eye. Most people buried their faces in their phones. She was actually turning pages. So I asked her if the book was any good. She looked up, smiled a little, small and polite, not flirty. She said, "It's confusing, but I like the way the detective thinks." That line stuck with me for some reason. Maybe because I used to think the same thing about myself, that I saw what others didn't. Said her name was May. She worked customer support for some fintech company downtown. Not a bar girl, not a waitress. 9 to 6, proper job. She wore a neat shirt with the sleeves rolled up and a little gold necklace with a letter on it, spoke clean English, not a trace of slang or baby talk. She didn't ask where I lived or how much money I had, or if I was married. She just asked what I liked to read, told me I seemed quiet but smart. At the time I believed her. Looking back, maybe I just wanted to. We didn't exchange numbers. She gave me her line ID, said she had to get back to work and walked off. But before she hit the door, she turned back and said, "Don't forget to finish the book." I didn't even know which one she meant. We didn't jump into anything. No whirlwind romance, no all-night parties. It started slow. Coffee dates turned into dinners, then weekend sleepovers at my place in Phaya Thai. Never her place. She said she lived with her aunt and younger sister. "Too crowded," she told me. "Not comfortable for you." That didn't bother me. Honestly, I liked having my space. At 55, you learn to enjoy quiet mornings, your own fridge, your own shower schedule. She respected that. Never tried to move in, never pushed. Just showed up with 7-Eleven snacks, folded my shirts without being asked, made soft jokes about my old man playlist. She called me Condi, a good person, said I was calm, different from the other men she'd dated. You don't control me, you just care, she once said, curling up next to me, face buried in my chest. I remember that moment so clearly, the way her hair smelled faintly like lemongrass shampoo, the hum of the ceiling fan, her fingertips tracing circles on my chest like she was memorising the shape of my bones. It felt peaceful. She worked early, left by 6:30 most days, always neatly dressed, blouse tucked in, subtle makeup, same beige handbag. She'd text me little things throughout the day, photos of her lunch, funny English mistakes she saw online, once even a baby photo of herself. Said I was the only one she trusted with it, and I trusted her too. For a while. That's the part I still go back to, how real it felt. Not flashy, not dramatic, just easy. But now I see it different. That wasn't trust. That was distraction. Routine is a great cover when you're hiding something. The first crack was small, almost nothing. One night she left her phone on the counter while she went to the bathroom. It lit up. I wasn't trying to snoop. Honestly, I just glanced out of habit. But I saw a line message pop up from someone saved as work client. The message just said, "Miss you already." She came back in like nothing happened, picked up the phone, locked it immediately, sat back down beside me like she hadn't just blown a hole in the boat. I didn't say anything, not then. I just tucked it away, added it to the list. Next week she cancelled our Friday dinner, said she had to work late, end of month reporting or something, but she posted a picture later that night on her Instagram story. Just a cocktail glass with one of those sparklers sticking out of it. The bar logo was in the corner, somewhere in Tonglaw. Again, I didn't confront her, I just took note. One night I picked up her phone to check the weather. She snatched it out of my hand so fast she knocked over her iced tea, said it was nothing. Just private, okay? I told myself she was just protective of her privacy. Independent woman, maybe a little guarded. Nothing wrong with that. But something in my gut had already shifted. She always left early, always had an excuse. Some days she'd show up with her hair wet, like she'd rushed over from somewhere else. Once she came with a bruise on her collarbone, said she bumped into a door at work. I nodded, let it go. But the truth is, I'd started to doubt everything she said. Not because she slipped, but because she was too careful. It wasn't one big lie. It was 1,000 little ones, all stacked like cards, and I knew eventually they'd fall. I just didn't know how much it would cost her when they did. After that, I stopped asking questions and started watching. It's funny, most people assume betrayal hits like a bomb, loud, fast, destructive. But for me, it felt more like fog, a slow, quiet settling in. I wasn't heartbroken. Not yet. Just alert. I started noticing patterns. The way she always changed shirts before leaving my place, said she didn't want to smell like my laundry detergent. The way she never kept anything here, no toothbrush, no extra makeup bag, not even a hair tie in the drawer. She came, stayed the night, and left, like she'd never been there. I made a spreadsheet. Yeah, I know how that sounds. But I needed structure. Columns for dates, excuses, locations she mentioned, inconsistencies. It felt clinical, safe. One Thursday, she said she had a company dinner. I asked where. She said Sukhumvit, some Korean place near Terminal 21. I offered to drop her off. She laughed and said, "No need, it's girls only." But I drove past the spot an hour later anyway. No one there, not a soul in a work shirt. The lights were off. Another time, she left in the morning saying she had a meeting in Sathorn. I walked downstairs 20 minutes later and saw her climbing onto a motorbike taxi, going the opposite direction. She didn't even look back. Still, I didn't stop her. I didn't confront her. I just kept logging. You ever play poker with someone who's bluffing, but you don't call it right away? You wait, let them feel safe, keep betting, then flip the cards at the last second. That was the plan. I wasn't just watching her, I was watching how far she'd go, and I wasn't going to blink first. We were sitting on my balcony eating mango sticky rice she'd brought over. She was in one of my old t-shirts, something she rarely did. Her feet were up on the chair, toenails painted red. We were talking about something stupid. I think it was about stray cats on the street, and she laughed, leaned over and said, "You're so funny, Mike." Just like that. She froze. I froze. Time didn't stop, but it sure as hell got heavy. I said nothing, just looked at her. She blinked, smiled, tried to cover. Oh, I meant to say, like, microphone. "You're loud today," then laughed. But it was forced, cracked around the edges. I nodded, took another bite of mango, chewed slow. "Mike's a lucky guy," I said. She didn't reply. She didn't stay the night. After she left, I sat at the kitchen table and pulled up the spreadsheet, opened a new tab, titled it Mike, started building timelines, backtracking stories, looking for overlaps. She wasn't careful anymore, not like before. I left my line open on the kitchen table the next day, fake notifications from a girl named Jen. Let the screen light up when she walked past, watched her pause, squint, try not to react. The day after that, she brought me breakfast. Overly sweet, overly smiley, like she was trying to buy back time. But it was already too late. She'd shown her hand. I wasn't angry. I wasn't even hurt yet. I was curious. Curious just how deep the hole went, and whether she'd keep digging. I didn't need proof after that, but I still wanted it. So I did what I was trained to do. I watched, quietly, without emotion. She told me one weekend that she needed to visit her mother in Nonthaburi. Said her mum was sick again and she had to stay the night. Her tone was soft, serious, the kind of voice that makes you feel guilty for even thinking about asking questions. I didn't push back, just smiled, kissed her forehead and said, "Take care of her." 15 minutes later, I put on my helmet and followed. She wasn't hard to tail. She never thought I'd be the type. I kept my distance on the motorbike, stayed in the shadows. She didn't head toward Nonthaburi. Not even close. She cut east toward Ramanine and pulled into a condo I'd never seen before. That's when I parked and waited. At first I told myself maybe it was her sister's place or a friend from work. I gave her the benefit of the doubt for about 10 minutes. Then I saw him. Tall Thai guy, maybe late 20s, early 30s. Untucked shirt, clean haircut, expensive looking watch. He came down, kissed her right there in front of the lobby like it was normal. She laughed and ran her hands through his hair. No hesitation, no nerves, like she'd done it 100 times. They walked inside, holding hands. I didn't move for a long while, just sat on the bike with the engine idling, helmet still on, breathing through my nose, slow and even. I wasn't angry, not really. I wasn't shocked either. That part had already come and gone. This was just confirmation. A checkbox on a form I'd already filled out in my head. The truth is, I knew. I'd known for weeks, probably longer. But there's something about seeing it with your own eyes that makes it real. It strips away all the excuses you were building for someone. And after that, there's no turning back. She was cheating. She'd been cheating. And now, it was my turn. I didn't shout, didn't text her anything dramatic, Didn't send the photo I took of her and that guy walking in together. That's not how I work. I'm not in the business of warning people who already made their choice. Instead, I sat at my desk the next morning, opened her LinkedIn profile and started reading. She told me she worked at a fintech company, something to do with fraud prevention, ironically enough. I'd never pressed her for details, but she once mentioned the name of her boss during dinner, just casually, in passing. I'd remembered it. Now I looked him up. The company was real, mid-sized, professional, public-facing. I found the corporate email format on their website. First name dot last name. Simple enough. Then I opened a blank email and started attaching files. I didn't include anything romantic or personal, no screenshots of love messages or photos of her with other guys. That wouldn't matter to a company. What I sent were facts that tied directly to her job. A list of dates where she told me she was working late or sick, cross-referenced with proof that she was out drinking, travelling, or spending the day with someone else. I had time-stamped photos, social media posts, even a video clip from a mall where she was shopping during work hours, still wearing her company lanyard. I kept it professional. No emotion, no insults, just a short note. As someone who respects your company's public reputation, I thought you should be aware of how this employee has been using company time. Then I hit send. No fireworks, no big confrontation. I didn't need to see the fallout. I already knew what was coming. A week later, she stopped messaging me. No cute stickers, no selfies, nothing. Just silence. Then she showed up at my condo. She was shaking. Makeup smeared, hair pulled back too tight. She didn't even knock, just stood outside the elevator waiting. When I opened the door, she looked up and said, "Why would you do this to me?" I didn't answer right away, just looked at her the same way I did that night on the bike. No anger, no pity, just clarity. "You used me," I said. "I was never your boyfriend. I was your excuse." She opened her mouth to say something, maybe to cry, maybe to lie. I didn't stick around to find out. I shut the door gently, locked it, sat down, turned my phone off for the rest of the day. Whatever happened after that, not my problem. After that day, I never saw her again. No follow-up messages, no second apology. She just vanished. Not in the dramatic sense. No threats, no tantrums. Just silence. Like she'd been unplugged. Her Instagram went dark. Line status disappeared. I checked her LinkedIn out of habit a few days later and her job title was gone. Blank. Just said looking for new opportunities. That told me everything I needed to know. I didn't feel proud. I didn't feel guilty either. Just still. Like I'd been holding my breath for a year and finally let it out. The place felt quieter without her. Not better or worse. Just real. No pretending. No cover stories. Just me, the ceiling fan, the clink of ice in a glass, and the city humming outside like nothing happened. I started sleeping better, eating better. I even found myself smiling at dumb things on YouTube, stuff I hadn't laughed at in months. It wasn't joy exactly, more like the absence of tension. No more guessing, no more hoping someone was telling you the truth. A week later, I got a final message. Line, no profile photo. "You ruined everything." No hello, no explanation. Just those 3 words. I read it once, then again. Then I deleted it. Didn't reply. Not because I didn't have anything to say, but because I'd already said it, in my own way. Sometimes I wonder how long she was lying. Not just when it started, but how deep it went. Was it just the one guy? Was it 2? 3? Was I ever the main one, or just the quiet foreigner she could depend on when the others flaked? I don't obsess over it, but the questions show up now and then, like background noise. You hear it when everything else is quiet. The thing is, I wasn't even angry she cheated. Not really. People cheat. It happens. It's ugly, but it's human. What got to me was how easy it was for her, how casual. The way she said I love you and smiled with the same mouth she used to lie, the way she called me her safe place, like I was some warm shelter while she ran around outside playing with matches. I don't think she's evil. I don't think I'm a saint either, but I gave her something real. Time, stability, honesty, and she used it like a stepping stone. That's the part that sits in your chest afterward. Not the betrayal, the misuse. I've had friends tell me I went too far, that getting her fired was cruel, that I should have just walked away. And maybe they're right. Maybe I should have just let her cheat in peace and found someone new. But then again, maybe not. See? In the military, if someone compromises the mission, you don't let them walk away with the intel. You neutralise the threat. She compromised me, used me as cover, smiled while doing it. So no, I don't regret what I did. Not even a little. I'm not telling this story to make you bitter, or paranoid, or to say all Thai women are like this. That's not the point. This isn't about Thailand. It's not even about her, really. It's about what happens when you stop paying attention to your gut, when you let comfort override your instincts. I saw the signs, every one of them. I logged them, catalogued them, even predicted the ending, and still I waited. I let it keep going because some part of me didn't want to believe I'd been used. That's what stings, isn't it? Not that someone lies, but that they looked you in the eye while doing it. And you let them. If there's a lesson in all this, it's not don't trust anyone. It's don't assume that being quiet makes you weak. People think the loud ones are dangerous, the yellers, the ones who throw things, post angry Facebook rants. But the real danger is the one who says nothing, who watches, who waits. People like me don't explode, we execute. And when we finally move, it's already too late. So yeah, she got caught. She lost her job. Her little network of lies fell apart in a week. And me, I went back to my coffee, my books, my quiet apartment. I didn't need revenge to feel better. I just needed her out of my life. But if you ask me whether I'd do it again, I'd hit send twice. Thank you, Carlos, for sending in your story. Carlos isn't the kind of guy who shouts or makes a scene. He's the guy who sits back, collects the data, and flips the table when you least expect it. Quiet, calm, and absolutely devastating. It wasn't about jealousy. It wasn't about love either. It was about being used, being played like a prop in someone else's story. And when he figured that out, he didn't beg. He didn't fight. He took everything she built on lies and pulled one string. That's the part that sticks with me. Not the cheating, not the breakup, but the moment he decided she wasn't just going to walk away without consequences. Not every man gets his revenge, but Carlos. He made sure she felt every ounce of it. And if you made it this far, drop a comment below. She picked the wrong guy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. We've got more stories coming your way, straight from the shadows of paradise. Thanks for watching Inside Thailand.